All right, Coach, you can start us off.
So, what an awesome day. Just to watch our players at the end. And I told them last night, as you get older and you get joy from others, especially your children, which players a lot of times are similar. And I just wanted them to get to 1-0 today. So, just like every time we've been in the stadium, could watch them go over there to the fans with the Egg Bowl trophy and be able to celebrate that alone, just winning the Egg Bowl, and then on top of that, for them to win 11 regular season games. And we talk a lot about Coach Carroll used to say, do things better than they were ever done before, and they just did that. No one in the entire state's ever had 11 win regular season, so that's pretty cool, especially the SEC's never been harder and deeper than it is now. So that's an amazing accomplishment by them. And, I know the storyline about distractions all week and stuff. And I would just say, and I'm going to say it during the week, we build our teams differently. So what you may think is distracting, as I understand our fan base or media, I don't think it is. And we train our guys from the beginning when we get them and build our teams to focus on what they can control and block out noise. And shoot, the last play, FAU, we play our last game there. That morning there's an announcement, that we're coming here, actually. And, we're in the conference championship that day. So our players know next year, and we go out and win 49-6 in the game. So I think we just train our players that way. I wasn't concerned this week, and they've been doing it for a month, so I would say maybe what, we teach our players and our staff a lot of times, that what you think might be really bad might be good. And so maybe you should think the other way, that all that distraction and all the noise outside bonds them together because they know their team, their coach, their coaches, and so they don't worry about that stuff. And everybody says, well, they're going to be distracted, they're not going to play well, or they should want a different coach. I think bonds them together to stay focused and to play really well. And I'm not the coach for those who, we got a lot of people here today, but ones that cover us, if the field goal goes in at the end and you just win some game or get some call by a ref, I'm not one to say that means you played extremely well that day. Our guys played well, whatever, probably 24, 10 or 13 run, once we get that last touchdown at the end of the first half. And if you're distracted, you don't have 0 negative plays the entire day on offense. Not one play, not a sack, not a turnover, not a negative run for a yard. That's players executing really well and doing great. So really happy for them. And it's a heck of an accomplishment. They did something that no one's ever done before. And they did it in a really good style today. They played clean football, kind of said at halftime, and our programs are built different. We build players to execute and play really well. Like they say down in locker room, we want to make Sports Center for making good plays, not try to make Sports Center for starting fights. So, that was disappointing earlier in the game, but I was really proud of our players, how their players all left their bench, including their AD, and our players stayed on our bench, like they're coached to do. So play football, and they did that today.
Lane Kiffin released that statement last week saying that there's going to be an announcement by tomorrow on your future. Have you made any sort of decision yet?
Yeah, I haven't. Maybe that surprises you. But I guess, I gotta do some praying and figure this thing out. I know today, I can get to that tomorrow. I live life about one day at a time. Maybe that doesn't help you, but I've learned to live that way for about 6 years now, 5 years, and that helps me. And so today was all about these players performing really well and keeping this Egg Bowl trophy where it belongs. And then, tonight I'm going to go be a dad and watch more important game to me and watch Knox playing the North Division or North State Championship versus Tupelo tonight. So Coach Cutcliffe, senior, he was on the sidelines last week at the game. His son's the coach, in case you don't know. And he walked over. He's like, "Man, isn't this like harder more intense than being the head coach in the games?" I'm like, "No, it's not." But it's more enjoyable. So I'm excited for that tonight. I mean, what a Fisher Ray, one of our assistants, said a couple weeks ago. Man, he's like, if this thing played out, man, you could be 11-1, win the Egg Bowl on the exact same day. If they kept winning, and Knox would be playing the North State Division or North State Championship. It's an awesome day, and I mean, very fortunate to have a lot of really good things in my life. Thanks to God.
Do you plan on making a decision tomorrow?
I feel like I got to. I mean, so probably not as enjoyable as people probably think it is, but like Kirby says, when he wants to complain about being in the national championship and missing the portal window, he's like, there's no crying from the yacht. So I'm not trying to get pity, but it's not as enjoyable as maybe some people would think.
Does winning today and making the playoff make it more difficult to win?
I think it's difficult no matter what. I think that there is a relief that we played like I thought I would. Like I thought they would today. I did think they would play like this, and but you never know. And so I am relieved for that, because if we didn't play well today, we all know what the storyline would be. It'd be my fault for having them distracted and stuff. So I'm really glad that we proved that narrative, which is a fair narrative for people to write, and I think a lot of our fans felt that way this week. Understandable, but they don't know our room, and they don't know how we train them and how they think.
Like after the game, at one point, it looked like you were admiring the Ole Miss crowd. There was a lot of powder blue in that side of the stadium. What was going through your mind at that moment?
Just over the years, and then like, just really cool. That's third time we've been here, third time emptying out their stadium, and then watching Matt Corral do it, in that game, and then Jackson Dart, and then watching Trinidad carry that trophy, I said that when I said to him, like, this is just gives me so much joy to see them be able to do something like this, and so to watch these guys come together, like they came from everywhere. I mean, I should probably know this, but I bet you on offense we don't have any players that play from the state of Mississippi. Think about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we have any. So that's a different story, that you have to have in-state players to win. But think about that. So they came from all over the place to come together to do this, to win, and then bring joy to all the fans, which are from Mississippi, mostly, I assume. It's just a really cool story, and you can't get a better story than Trinidad. You guys in Division II playing in front of 500 people, and today he goes for 359 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, and some critical runs in a rivalry game that records don't mean anything when you go into them. They're not going to come out flat today. They never do. And so, and they did a lot. They put zero at them a ton of times, and tried to hit the big plays, and a lot of times they just held, as you saw. But Trinidad did some really good things today.
Number of people maybe you rely on that you can call as you're going through something like this. Said you were going to be a dad tonight, later tonight, probably have to make a decision in the morning. I'm not asking you to give out names, but do you have a group of people that you can rely on for something like this?
Yeah, I do. I miss my dad on this. I really missed him this week. And so, my 2 calls will be the closest to that from advice, what my dad would say to do on these things. And that'll be Coach Carroll and Coach Saban. Kind of wish when you had things to do in life that your dad wasn't there, but or your dad was there. But this is what it is.
Lane, when the polls come out on Tuesday, do you think this team is deserving of a college football playoff hosting option?
Yeah, I would think absolutely. I mean, you go 11-1 in the SEC, and and I'm not politicking. I think that should be an obvious hosting a game. I think depending on what other games go, you're in a conversation of are you even up there even higher? So, yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't be hosting a game at minimum at 11-1, and your one loss, you're ahead by a couple scores, right, going into the fourth quarter about at Georgia. Hard place to play. So I would certainly think that. I wasn't even planning on politicking for it, because I would think that would be a given. And shoot, we could have a whole different narrative here of, Texas and Auburn win their home games. Two really hard places to play, man.